Hi, you're having lunch with Laura today? My hair is a mess. Well, anyway, uh, I am Laura Lee Collet, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been in this for going on 18 years now, and well, I'm going on 19, and love every second of it. So, I hope I can get you to love it too if you don't already. Okay, today we are going to be working with a celebration set called Thanks a Bunch. Now, this is the card we're going to be making, and it's a little bit different in the fact that it doesn't open and close like a normal card. It has the flap on the front that does that. And for those of you who aren't familiar with celebration, Stampin' Up! Has 2 months out of the year, January and February, where along with a new mini catalog that comes out with exciting new stamp sets, dies, embellishments, and ribbons, you are able to, with a qualifying order, which is $50 before tax and shipping, you get to pick something out of the celebration brochure. Now, if you get up to $100, you can either pick out two level 50s, level 1, which is a $50 order, so with 100 you could get two of those. And the one we're using today is with a $50 order. And then when you get towards the back, they have level 2s, which are for $100 orders. So, if you need one of these, order quickly. Let me know, because celebration ends on the 28th of February and it won't be around again until next year. Now, let's get back to our card. As I mentioned, let me get the glare off of it. The stamp set I'm using today is a photopolymer stamp set, Thanks a Bunch. It has carrots, leaves, some cute sayings. I can see this being used for just about anything. And since it is photopolymer, you're able to see through the stamps, which makes it really convenient for what I'm getting ready to show you. We're using one of the new in colors today. This is called Parakeet Party, and I have cut this at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And remember now, this card is not going to open like the standard card does. Then I ran out of this paper, so I'm having to choose one from a retired thing, so don't tell anybody. But this paper was cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have our flap, which is pumpkin pie, and it's 3 1/2 by 9. And I scored it at 4 1/2, which would be half of the 9. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that and set it aside. Then we have two very vanilla pieces that are, I believe these are 3 1/4, 3 by 4 1/4. And there are two of these that we'll cut out at the same time. And for this particular card, I'm going to go ahead and do my cutting, use my dies to cut these out before I do the stamping. Then you're going to need just a little scrap of your Parakeet Party and vanilla, very vanilla, for your sentiment there. The dies, if you can look at this, it's rough cut along here, and it's called, the dies that I'm going to be using today are called deckled dies, and you can see that it's not a smooth cut. It's kind of ripply. And there are 8 dies to this set. Now, the larger dies, the 2 larger ones, will not fit in the mini cut and emboss machine, which I'm going to be showing you today. But the ones I'm going to be using and the other smaller ones will. So, first thing first, I am going to bring over our little machine, and I'm going to give you some tips that I saw on a Stampin' Up! Leaders Lounge video that they had for us, and it was on the both of our cut and emboss machines. These things are wonderful because whether you're using the large one or the small one, they fold up for easy storage or to easily take them to a crop or wherever you're going to scrapbook or make cards. They also, the little one, the mini, comes with the same plates the larger one does. And what I learned, and I find that it is especially important for the mini, is that when you are making your sandwich, you need to be making an E. In other words, the bottom and the top are sticking out, but the one in the middle, if you can see that, is just a little bit shorter. So it kind of looks like, if you look at it this way, it looks like the letter E. So let me show you how we're going to do this, and I'm going to cut out these two at the same time. I'm using the smaller of the die, and I am going to put some sticky note on there just to hold it in place. Let's see. Just so it'll stay where it's supposed to stay, since I've cut it kind of narrow to save my paper. So let's fix it up so that the top plate and the bottom plate are sticking out, and then the other middle plate is a little bit shorter. That means that these, and I can't remember what they call the little rollers in here, there's a special name, but anyway, it helps it grip better. So let's see how that works. Another thing they said was to have it on a solid surface, not on a grid sheet or something, but anyway, for this demonstration, I don't have a choice. Okay, it grabbed it right away. And you just need to hold on to it as you crank it through. Like I said, it would be easier if I wasn't on grid paper. Crank it through, and all the pops and things you hear are totally normal. Okay, so let's see how this came out. Now, depending on your machine, you might need to crank it through and then crank it back. Each machine is just slightly different, and voila, look at that. So those are both deckled little Very Vanilla sheets. I'm going to put those there, and the next thing we're going to do is do our folded piece. Now, when I go to do this piece, I want to make sure that the pumpkin pie is slightly down from the very top. So in other words, I'm only going to be cutting it on 1, 2, 3 sides, and the top will still have the fold. So let's put that down. And that's important because if you don't do it that way, you're going to come out with 2 pumpkin pie pieces instead of one that folds. Okay. And y'all, I'm so excited. I came up with this all on my own. Well, not this part of it, but the card. Okay. Now, let's fix our sandwich again. That's what we call it. So we've got the middle piece is shoved in a little bit, and the other 2 are together. Let's bring our machine back over. And boy, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, if you want this little machine, there is a joining special in the back of the celebration brochure. And there are 3 different options for joining where you get different, you can pay different amounts and get this little machine in boho blue. Is that adorable? I'm dying for one of those, but I already have the white one. So anyway, the options are you can get the $175 in products plus this for $129. Or you can get option 2 is the white machine. That is the same thing, $175 worth of products that you get to pick out for only $129. Y'all, that is a deal, a steal of a deal. And then if you already have one of these, you can just join, pick out $175 worth of merchandise for $99. You can't beat that with a stick. Okay, back to our little thing. Let's see if it came out right. And yay, it did. Okay, so I have my little flap. Putting my dies back where they live so they don't get lost. Okay, and we're through with our little cut and emboss machine. So now I'm going to do our stamping. We're going to be stamping on, oops, there goes my code that I forgot to tape down. Okay, on the front we've got our carrots that are 3 different colors. And see how the little stem is showing through here? I'm going to show you something that'll fix that so that it does not show. So the first color I'm going to use is called Fresh Freesia. It's one of the end colors that will be retiring when the new catalog comes out. So if you like it, you better get it. And I'm going to stamp this. Just checking to make sure. I'm going to stamp it right in the middle. Now this set does not come with dies, so you can fussy cut if you choose. I decided not to do that, so we're just doing it on the paper today. And when you are switching colors, it's very important that your stamps are cleaned. So this is our Stampin' Scrub. It's $19. It's in the annual catalog. One side has a sunshine. That would be the dry side. I added those little stickers. And then this one has raindrops, so you know that that's the wet side. So as I said, this is $19. The Stampin' Mist is $11, and it comes in an 8-ounce bottle with a sprayer, but I like being able to split it up and use it among my tables and it's easier for me to manage on a smaller thing. So I'm just going to spray my mist on the wet side and clean my carrot. Okay, now I'm ready to go to the next color, which is going to be the mango. I'm sorry, what color is this? Crushed curry. Again, I'm going to ink it up. And I'm just going to kind of put it a little bit catty corner. And again, I'm going to clean my stamp. Close that one up and go on to our next color, which is pumpkin pie. So it matches the cardstock that we used for the little flap. So one little spot that didn't get inked. There we go. And remember, you're just going to press firmly. Oops. Pick it up and put it down. Let's see how good I am with this since it's photopolymer. Let's see if I can fix that. Hey, not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to clean that, and we're not going to be using that anymore. But we are going to, I'm going to leave my pumpkin pie over here because we're going to use that again in a minute. Okay, the color Parakeet Party matches our card stock for the base. And this is what I wanted to show you. These stamps are remarkable, and they're so easy to use when you can see through them. See this little part of the stem? I didn't want that to show through my carrots. On one of these, it did show through. Oops, there it is. And I had masked it, but the mask fell off, which means I put a piece of tape over it and it fell off. So this is an easier way anyway. Just take your stamp and put it on the edge of your ink pad. Can you tell that that's inked up, but the stem is not? And then you're just going to put that down there. Oops, sorry, got my head in the way. Do it again. And I'm going to do it for each of these. Okay. So we're through with stamping on that one. The next one we're going to do is the inside. And there's a bunch of 3 little carrots. And I just stamped them at the bottom. Let's see. And I did it using pumpkin pie. And last night at my stamp camp, we decided that these could be crowns if you turned them upside down. That's kind of thinking outside the box. And I know you're supposed to put 3 or 5. I put 4 today. I'm going to put this little group of carrots over there. And there's a little small greenery that matches these. So there's not a stem, so I don't need to worry about where I put it on there. And I just put that right there. Talk about thinking outside of the box. As I said, if you turn them upside down, they do kind of look like crowns, don't they? Somebody did a card, and all of their carrots were different shades of green, and it looked like trees. So there you have it. You can turn these around and make them anything that you want. Okay, I'm through with my inks. I'm going to close those up. And let's start putting our card together. Okay. Okay, here is another tip. If you are having trouble with your stamp and seal and you're constantly having to do this to get the sticky out, take one of our silicone pads and it will start rolling and make a little sticky spot right there, and then you're off and running. It's hard to see on this pattern paper. Okay, and our design, there's no wrong or right way, so you don't have to worry about that with this particular paper. Some of them have an up and down, and you need to be aware of that. All right, next I'm going to put down, now let's see. Okay, I'm going to start it up on the silicone mat and just drag it. It goes all the way around. Now you want to be sure that when you go to put this down that it's opening the correct way and not upside down, unless you want it to open upside down. There might be a cute card out there that does it that way. Okay. I'm going to put our, see, that works every time. So just keep your silicone mat close by. And there we go. And then the inside, just don't get your card up in it. Oops, see, like I was just telling you. Okay, this is going to go on the inside where your message is going to go. Okay, isn't that cute? I just love that. I didn't think I would have this much love for this carrot set, but I just think it's adorable. Okay, the next thing we need to do is do our sentiment. Now, there are different sentiments in the stamp set, which is right here. There is, look at you, it looks like spring. Hey there, everything's coming up, carrots. There's no one quite like you, love you, and thanks. I think I'm going to do hey there this time. So let me get that one out. And I like to put my stamps down and then put the lucite block on top. And I chose our Early Espresso brown. And I'm going to put it down. Oops, you can't see. Let me move that. Okay, I'm going to put it, and the grid paper makes it very easy to line up so that it's pretty straight. And if I can keep my head out of the way, you might be able to see. Okay, hey there. Now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to fussy cut this. I am going to do a little, make it a little fancier there. Then all you need to do is close up the ink pad first so you don't get it everywhere. I'm just going to put that and leave a little border so that it has a layer. And fussy cut this. Now, I have some dimensionals right here, and I'm just going to pop that up. Put 2 on that. And I'm just going to put it kind of in the middle. There we go. Hey there. You know, this could easily be a birthday card, a thinking of you, whatever you want. So there's a lot you can do with this besides, you know, just being a kind of quirky card. You can come up with something for that. So there are the two cards that I did. And this was with the 2024 or 2023, I guess. Okay, hang on. The parakeet is not going out for another year. This was one of our new ones, new colors. So there was a stack of DSP that was cut 6x6 that had just the end colors in it, and that's where that came from. Okay, now let's look at our envelope. Okay, this happens to be the reverse side of the designer paper that I used on the first card. So I'm going to use this side that has stripes on it for the envelope. Now, this measures 2 inches, 2 by 6. And when I cut off and made my 6 by 6 4 inches, I had 2 inches left that I wanted to do something with. Normally, most of the time, you would cover your flap the entire way. But what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put it in the middle, right there. So you're going to have a little of the envelope flap showing here and a little at the top. If it was just a little wider, I would put it all the way up and trim it. It would cover that. So let's do it this way. And because this is larger, I'm going to put the glue, our liquid glue, on top of here if I can get it to come out. Okay, let's see. Sometimes I get a little, I call them glue boogers. And you might have to use a pin to stick in there and get it started. There we go. So I'm just gonna go around. Oh, come on. You know it's doing this because I'm on TV. Okay, there we go. And you don't want to put too much, which I may have done. Okay, be sure that you're putting the side up that you want to see. And I'm going to do it right there. Or I could have slid it down, but I just chose to do it this way. And all you're going to do is just cut off the excess. There you go. Do this side. Okay. So there you have your flap. That'll go with your card. And I think we do need to put something down here in the corner. So let's use our little bunch of carrots again. And I'm just going to stamp right there. Got our green. Now you can't double stack these. So I have the carrots on one side and the greenery on the other. It makes it a little more challenging to find, to see. So let's see how I do. Okay, that came out great. And if you want to put hay there on it, you could do that too. Hey there. That means we're through. So, my challenge for you this week is to take a stamp set, see if you can think outside the box and come up with something totally different than what the stamp was intended. It's a lot of fun to do that. So put your imagination at work, keep stamping, and come back and see me next Thursday, 12 noon Central Time. And I'll have another exciting, I think I'm going to be doing a St. Patrick's Day card next week. So come back and see me. Thanks for being here. Love y'all. Take care and have a great rest of the week.